All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to jump back in time, like way back, almost 900 years, to meet someone so brilliant, so multifaceted, it feels like she just doesn't belong in her own time. We're about to dive into the life and mind of a real visionary.
But hang on before we get to her. Let me ask you something. Think about our world today. It can feel kind of fragmented, right? Disconnected. So what if the key to living a more connected, more vibrant life wasn't in some new self-help book, but was actually hidden in the past? And I mean like deep in the past, the Middle Ages.
Well, the answer might just lie with this incredible woman, Hildegard of Bingen. Back in her day, she was a total force, a prophetess, a visionary. They even called her the Sibyl of the Rhine. Pretty epic title, right? So, to really get what made her tick, we have to look at her life story, which is just wild. Her journey didn't start with a fancy education or a high-ranking family. Nope. It started with these intense personal visions of light she had as a little kid. Okay, so check this out. She's born in 1098, and from what we know, she was different right from the start. I mean, she started having these divine visions when she was just 3 years old. Can you imagine? As she grew up, she didn't just fade into the background. She became an abbess, a leader, and even founded her own monastery. And here's the key part. She didn't keep these incredible experiences to herself. She wrote it all down in her most famous work, Civias, which means know the ways.
And this is where it gets just mind-blowing. Calling her a mystic doesn't even begin to cover it. The woman was a composer. People still play her music today. She was a natural scientist, an herbalist, writing books on medicine, a poet, a reformer. And get this, she was an advisor to popes and emperors. I mean, we're talking about a true polymath, someone who is light years ahead of her time.
So, what was her secret? How did she see the world? Her whole philosophy, it wasn't just, dry academic stuff. Not at all. It was a hands-on, practical guide for how to live a complete, whole life. And it all boils down to a few really powerful core concepts. Okay, this is the big one. At the absolute core of her worldview is this amazing idea she called Viriditas. Now, literally, that just means greenness. But for Hildegard, it was way more than that. Think of it as the divine, juicy, vibrant life force that pulses through everything in creation. The trees, the rocks, you, me. For her, being healthy, being joyful, that meant you were filled with Viriditas. And that idea, that Viriditas, led her to something that was just totally radical for her time. She basically said, hey, you know that wall people put up between the spiritual world and the physical world? Between your soul and your body? It doesn't exist. For Hildegard, it was all connected, all one single divine tapestry. And she didn't just talk the talk. This whole integrated view became a really practical 3-step path. First, care for your body. For her, eating good food and using herbal medicine wasn't just about health. It was about honoring God. Second, nurture your mind. To understand the universe was to hear a divine symphony. And third, honor your spirit. Making music, writing, creating, that wasn't just a hobby. That was your direct line to the divine. Body, mind, spirit. You can't separate them. Now, when you believe all that everything is connected and divine, it gives you a pretty unshakable sense of courage, right? I mean, think about it. She's living in an age where women were supposed to be silent, but Hildegard, she did the unthinkable. She wrote letters, sharp letters, to popes, emperors, the most powerful men in Europe, basically telling them to get their act together. So you gotta ask, where did she get that nerve? Well, this quote says it all. I am a feather on the breath of God. It wasn't about her ego. Not at all. It was the complete opposite. She saw herself as just an instrument, a vessel, a feather being guided by this divine mission. And when you think like that, what is there to be afraid of? It freed her up to say what needed to be said. Okay, so this is all fascinating history, but you might be thinking, what does a nun from the 12th century have to do with my life today? Well, that's the amazing part. The connections are way more direct and powerful than you might think. First up, she's practically begging us to rediscover that Viriditas, to stop seeing nature as just a resource we can use up, and instead to see it for what she saw, the living, breathing presence of the divine. You know, a walk in the woods isn't just a walk in the woods. It's like walking through a cathedral. Her second big message for us: creativity isn't just some nice-to-have luxury. It's essential fuel for your soul. I mean, our world is so full of digital noise, right? She's telling us to push back, to actively seek out and create beauty and harmony. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It could be music, art, anything. It's about feeding your spirit. And finally, her own life is maybe the biggest lesson of all. It's a masterclass in courage. She shows us that real authority doesn't come from a title. It comes from conviction, from purpose. She teaches us that we all have a voice and we have a responsibility to use it for what's right, no matter how small or powerless we might feel. So, in the end, Hildegard's message comes echoing down all those centuries. And it's actually a really personal one. It's a message for you. It's a reminder of that Viriditas, that life force that's inside you right now. A reminder of the unique song only you can sing. And a reminder of the fearless light you're meant to share with the world. So if we take anything from her, let it be the simple, powerful idea: you are a spark of the divine. So go out there and shine brightly.